Welcome to Flair English.
Let's master real-world English together.
Hello, and welcome to Flair English. I am Lucy, and I am so happy that you chose to spend your time with us today. Today's topic is something that I have been thinking about for a very long time. It's a topic that touches our hearts, our relationships, and the way we move through the world.
Hi everyone, I'm Diego. I'm sitting here with Lucy, and I can tell she's very serious about this one. When she told me the title, Stop Saying How Are You, I was surprised. I thought, but Lucy, that's the first thing we learn.
It is, Diego, and that is exactly the problem. Before we get into why this small phrase can actually hurt our connections, I want to ask you, our listeners, to do something. If you love learning English that feels real, if you want to speak from your soul, please hit the subscribe button right now.
Yes, and please click the bell icon. We want you to be part of every conversation we have here at Flair English. We are more than a channel. We are a family of people trying to understand each other better. Subscribe now and let's grow together.
Thank you. Now, Diego, let's be honest. How many times today have you said, "How are you?"
Let me think. To the taxi driver, to the lady at the front desk, to you when I walked in, maybe 5 or 6 times.
And did you really want to know the answer every time?
Honestly, no. To the taxi driver, it was just a way to be polite. I didn't want him to tell me about his life problems. I just wanted to say hello.
Exactly. And that is the "how are you" trap. We use it as a greeting, not as a question. But because it looks like a question, it creates a strange situation. We ask, but we don't listen. The other person answers, but they don't tell the truth.
It's like a game. Person A says, "How are you?" Person B, "I'm fine, thanks. You?" Person A, "I'm fine." And then silence?
It's a dead-end street, Diego. For English learners, it's even worse. Students spend hours learning grammar, but then they get stuck in this "I'm fine" loop. They never get to use the beautiful words they have learned. They never get to say they are excited, exhausted, peaceful, or inspired.
So, Lucy, you're saying that "how are you" is actually a wall between us.
Yes, it's a wall made of politeness. And today I want to give our Flair English family the tools to break that wall down. We are going to look at better ways to start a conversation, ways that make people stop, look you in the eye, and actually think before they speak.
I love that. Let's start with the people we know well, our friends, our brothers, our sisters. If I shouldn't say "how are you," what is a B1 level alternative that is more meaningful?
Try this. How have you been lately?
How have you been lately? Okay, let's look at the grammar for a second. That is the present perfect, right?
Yes. How have you been? It's not just about this second. It's about the last few days or the last week. When you add the word lately, you're asking about their life in a bigger way. You're saying, "I care about what has been happening to you since the last time we spoke."
I can feel the difference already. If someone asks me, "How are you?" I say, "Good." But if someone asks, "How have you been lately?" I think about my week. I might say, "Actually, I've been very busy with work," or "I've been feeling a bit tired."
Exactly. It invites a real story. And here's another one for friends. What has been on your mind lately?
Ooh, that's a deep one. What has been on your mind? It's very psychological.
It is. It's a very gentle way to ask someone if they are worried about something or if they are dreaming about something. It shows that you're interested in their thoughts, not just their status.
For our B1 learners, the phrase "on your mind" means what you were thinking about. It's very common and very natural. Lucy, when I ask you what's on your mind, it makes me feel like a better friend.
It makes me feel heard, Diego, and that is the greatest gift you can give someone, the feeling of being heard.
Diego, let's talk about the highlight phrase you mentioned before. I think that one is very viral. People love talking about good things.
Yes, instead of "how are you," ask "what was the highlight of your day?" Or if it's the evening, "what was the best part of your week?"
Highlight. Highlight, the best or most interesting part. I love this because it forces the other person to look for something positive.
Right. Even if they had a bad day, they have to think, what was the one good thing? Maybe it was a good cup of coffee. Maybe it was a song on the radio. When they find that highlight and tell you, their mood changes, their eyes light up, and you are the one who made that happen.
This is what we mean at Flair English when we say language is a tool for connection. You aren't just practicing English, you're practicing kindness.
Diego, I remember a time when I was living in a new city. I didn't know anyone. I felt invisible. Every day people asked me, "How are you?" And every day I said, "I'm fine." But inside I was crying. I was so lonely.
I'm so sorry, Diego. I think many of our listeners feel that way too. Moving to a new country or learning a new language can be very lonely.
It can. One day, a woman at the library, she didn't even know me, she looked at me and she didn't say, "How are you?" She said, "You look like you have a lot on your heart today. Are you holding up okay?"
Sophly, are you holding up okay? Wow.
I started crying right there in the library, but they were good tears. They were tears of relief. Someone had finally broken through the "how are you" wall. She saw me.
That is so powerful. How are you holding up is such a beautiful phrase to use when you see someone struggling. It means, I see your struggle and I'm asking if you are staying strong.
Yes, it's a B1 level phrase, but it has a PhD in empathy.
So, listeners, if you have a friend who is working very hard, or a friend who is going through a breakup, or a friend who is just stressed, don't ask, how are you? Ask, how are you holding up?
They might cry, like I did, but they will love you for it. They will never forget that you asked.
Let's recap the social phrases for part 1. How have you been lately? What's been on your mind? What was the highlight of your day? How are you holding up?
These are your tools for part 1. In part 2, we're going to look at how to use these in the office and how to handle the deep conversations when someone actually tells you they aren't fine.
I'm ready for that, but first, let's take a deep breath. English is beautiful, isn't it, Lucy?
It is, Diego, especially when it's used to bring people together. See you in part 2, everyone. Welcome back to part 2 of our deep dive into why we should stop saying "how are you?" I'm Lucy, and I'm still here with Diego. If you missed part 1, we talked about why "how are you" is often a wall that stops us from truly connecting with our friends and family.
In part 1, we learned phrases like, what was the highlight of your day and how are you holding up? Now, in part 2, we want to talk about the places where we spend most of our time, work, and professional settings.
Work is a difficult place for language, Diego. We want to be professional, which usually means cold or distant. We say, "How are you?" as a polite way to say, "Let's start the meeting."
It feels very automatic. Hi, how are you? Good, thanks. Let's look at the report. It's so robotic.
But you know, Diego, the most successful people in the world aren't just good at their jobs. They're good at building relationships. If you want to be a leader, or if you want to be a valued team member, you need to be human.
So how do we stay human in an office without being too emotional? We can't ask our boss, how is your heart today, right?
Probably not on the first day, but you can be better than "how are you?" Try this. How is your day going so far?
How is your day going so far? It's simple, it's safe, but it's different.
It is, because it asks about the process of their day. It's not a general question about their life, it's about today. And because you added "so far," it feels more immediate.
I've noticed that when people ask me that, I actually answer. I might say, it's been a bit busy, but I'm getting through it. It opens a small door for a real conversation.
Exactly. Another great one for the workplace is, "What's keeping you busy these days?"
Keeping you busy, that's very natural English.
It is. It's better than asking, "Are you busy?" because "are you busy" sounds like a yes-no question. But what is keeping you busy allows the other person to talk about their projects, their goals, or even their family if they want to. It shows you recognize they are doing hard work.
I love that. It makes the person feel important. It says, I know you are doing things and I want to hear about them.
Right. And if you are talking to someone who seems a bit stressed, you can use one of my favorite gentle phrases. "I hope you're having a manageable day."
Manageable. That is a very important word for B1 students. M-A-N-A-G-A-B-L-E. It means something you can handle, something that isn't too much.
Exactly. By saying, "I hope your day is manageable," you're sending a wish of peace. You aren't even asking a question. You're just being kind. And often that kindness makes the other person open up. They might say, "Thank you. It's been a bit crazy, but that means a lot."
This brings us to a very important point, Lucy. At Flair English, we teach that English is about presence. What do you do when you ask a real question and the person gives you a real and maybe sad answer?
This is where many students get scared. They think, "Oh no, my English isn't good enough to help them." But listeners, please hear me. You don't need perfect grammar to be a good human.
What are some B1 phrases we can use to respond when someone says they are not doing well?
First, don't panic. Just use simple, warm phrases. You can say, "I'm so sorry to hear that."
Simple, classic.
Or, "That sounds really difficult. Do you want to talk more about it?"
Do you want to talk more about it? That is a very brave question to ask in English.
It is, but if you have the time, it's the most beautiful thing you can say. Or if you don't know what to say, you can just say, "I'm not sure what to say, but I'm really glad you told me."
I love that honesty. I'm not sure what to say. It takes the pressure off the English learner. You don't have to be a therapist. You just have to be a friend.
Exactly. Diego, let's talk about the word actually. We use this a lot when we are being real.
Yes, actually, I'm feeling a bit tired. Actually, I had a great day. It's like a signal that the truth is coming.
It is. And for our listeners, I want you to practice saying actually. It helps you transition from the polite script to the real conversation.
Let's do a little role play for the Flair English family. Let's show them the old way and the new way.
Okay, you be the coworker, I'll be the person arriving at the office.
The old way. Hi, Lucy. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. You?
Good. See you later.
Bye.
Wow, that felt like nothing happened.
It felt empty. Now let's try the new way.
The new way. Hi, Lucy. How has your week been treating you so far?
Actually, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. I've had some big projects, but I'm feeling good about them. How about you? What's been the highlight of your morning?
My highlight? Honestly, just having this quiet coffee before the phone starts ringing. I hope your day stays manageable, Lucy.
Thanks, Diego. I appreciate that.
That felt so much better. I feel like I actually know you now. I know you're busy, I know you're working on big things, and we shared a nice moment about coffee.
And did we use any C2 level advanced vocabulary? No, we used highlight, manageable, roller coaster, and actually, all B1 words.
This is the secret, Flair English family. It's not about how many words you know. It's about how you use the words you have to create a bridge between you and another person.
As we come to the end of this long podcast, I want to leave you with a thought. Life is very short. We spend so much of it speaking on the surface. We ask, "How are you?" to hundreds of people, but how many people do we actually know?
It's a sad thought, but it's a motivating one. We have the power to change that, one phrase at a time.
Yes, tonight, when you see your partner or your child or your roommate, don't ask, "How are you?" Ask them what made them smile today, or ask them what was on their mind while they were driving home.
And for yourself, ask yourself, how am I actually doing? Be honest with yourself first.
Thank you, Diego. This has been such a wonderful conversation. I feel like my heart is very full.
Mine too, Lucy. To everyone listening, thank you for being part of Flair English. Thank you for wanting to be more than just a student. Thank you for wanting to be a communicator.
One last reminder, if this video touched you, please subscribe and hit that bell. We want to keep having these deep conversations with you. And please tell us in the comments, what is one B1 word you learned today that you are going to use tomorrow?
We can't wait to read your answers. Be brave, be kind, and keep speaking.
We will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.